superstar. He is an absolute superstar, Tom Mitchell.
Cripps at the back. Cripps is too good.
Yes! Oh, how good was that?
All right, legends. Today on the pod, we have a great teammate of mine in Beau Mccreery. Probably, I would say, the fastest player at our club, potentially the league. Actually, on that, who do you reckon's faster out of you and Bobby? Because you two would be right up there. Have you actually had a race yet?
Nah, probably depends over distance, I reckon.
So what do you mean? So who would win over 100? Who would win over, say, 50?
Oh, I reckon he's got me over 20.
Yeah.
Like he's just electric off the start.
Yeah.
Maybe over 100 because I'm a bit longer.
Yeah.
Might start kicking up about 50.
Well, we've been doing those acceleration tests at pre-season so far where they've actually been measuring your 5 and 10 metre speed. I think Bobby was one for that.
Yeah.
But I reckon when you get a head of steam up...
Yeah. He's been pumping them, eh? I just got to start trying in him.
Yeah.
I reckon I was like 24th on the list or something last time we did him. So.
But I'll tell you what I heard you say the other day, which is pretty cool because not many players talk like this. Most players in the AFL are very offensive minded, but you get the biggest thrill out of genuinely chasing an opponent down and making them feel uncomfortable. And you do it to guys at training flat out. Like the other day, remember I got around you at training on the boundary when you literally chased down 3 players in a row?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, that is you.
Yeah, no, that gets me up for sure.
Yeah.
I remember I was knackered when I did that and everyone got around me. I was like, I needed that.
But it must make you feel good because it's like you impact games in such a way where, we know you can kick a goal. I saw the goal you kicked the other day. It was round 23 against Carlton where you kicked it from the junction. Pendle's gave you a handball to bring the game back, and then Jamie kicks the winner to cement that top 4 spot. But I feel as though you put more of a price on your defensive game and the team things.
Yeah, 100%. I think just I feel like not many other people do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I wouldn't say I love doing it. Trust me, I wish I could kick 3-4 a game and have 20.
Yeah.
But that's what I get picked every week for. It's probably started at South Adelaide the year before I got drafted. I was playing small forward for South Adelaide, and it sort of just became my role. I think I'm sort of known for it now. Like you said, I like the feeling of. I feel like I make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like if they've got the ball in the back line, and I'm there, I feel like they stress sometimes. So
100%.
Gets me up.
It wouldn't be a great feeling for him with the big 31 with the frizzy hair chasing him down.
That's right, and I feel like people don't think, because I'm not really technically a small forward.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't think I'm as quick as I am.
Yeah.
So I'll hopefully catch them off guard.
Well, that's one thing that surprised me getting to the club when I first met you. You play a role that you associate with being a small forward, but you're big and even your athleticism in the gym, I would say you and Q are the best athletes in the gym. You're just naturally strong. When we do those upper body circuits, you just eat them up. You love it. Have you always just been naturally strong, or has it been something you've worked at?
Yeah, people ask me that a bit, when I was younger, I was always skinny as. When I was 17, I was 74 kilos, so I was scrawny as. But I was always quick, so and I used to always hit people pretty hard. So I used to just use my speed.
Yeah.
And then once I put a bit of size on, it worked even better. But I was 17, bro, and I was 74 kilos. My brother used to just bully me, man, and I was just skinny as little
Sometimes
run.
you need a brother to do that.
Oh, and then I just went bang, probably under a year, I put nearly 10 kilos on.
Yeah.
I got to 84, and then couldn't run. I was still fast, but I could not run at all.
Fitness wise?
Yeah, I ran an 8:11 2K.
Is that
At
right?
my first South Adelaide training.
Is that right?
And they were just what is this? But
I would say you're the fittest you've ever been right now. The way you're running,
Yeah.
do you feel like that? You're
100%,
flying
yeah.
and all the shuttle tests and everything. You're literally right up there.
yeah, I feel like I've never really had a steady pre-season. A couple of years ago, when I first came to the club, I had groin, hip issues. Then I had hip surgery, which could never really get a roll on. And then this year, I felt like running with all you boys in the offie really put me in good stead, and I feel definitely the fittest I've ever felt.
Yeah, those off-season sessions we did were really good, getting everyone together. It was almost like we've had a pre-season before pre-season starts, which definitely gives you...
But it doesn't it's not as taxing because we don't have the stuff after it.
Yeah.
Just get it in, get it done early in the morning, and it sets you up for your day. And you feel
100%.
good. I hate getting up for it. Hate it.
Yeah.
But once I've done it, I feel good about myself.
100%. We were getting up 7, 8 a.m. Each morning in the off-season. One of the funniest sessions when we were at Boss James Oval and Ash Johnson rocked up a few minutes late, and we'd already started our first 3-minute run, which is it's a good clip run, and Ash parked at about 8:05. We're already midway through our first run. he's run, jumped the fence, thrown his keys, and just joined in the rep midway, and he's literally half asleep still.
I would have pulled up that bad after that if that was me. I need to stretch, man.
No, we got it done. But in the gym, what's your favourite lift? Because everyone out there, if for anyone who's just a general person who likes to go to the gym or an athlete, loves knowing like what people lift. Like, what do you bench? Because I've always seen you throwing there around the biggest weights. Like, what do you lift on your bench and your squat? Obviously, we don't really do 1RM testing because it's you don't want to really strain your body because we're there to be on the grass and play footy. But have you really ever pushed it to see what you can get to?
Yeah, I pushed it once last year. I think a few of the boys there get around me and I felt pretty strong, so I was like, I'll have a double, see what I can move. And I'd only really done maybe 120, 125. I remember I got 130 and I moved it pretty nicely. Got a bit ahead of myself and I racked up 140, which is 3 plates I think on each side, so it looks pretty good.
A lot.
And I remember AP's like, oh, you're pushing it like a gym coach.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, who cares? If I don't move it, I don't move it. If I do, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
And yeah, all the boys got around me and I got it done, yeah. So 140s.
140. And that's like, I'm just picturing like post-footy, when you don't need to worry about, your weight and being able to run, you should genuinely have a crack at like, I don't know whether it's bodybuilding or something, but like seeing like what you can genuinely shift, because being able to bench 140 for a rep for someone who doesn't train that specific thing is pretty bloody impressive.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's something I'd always think about is like if I wasn't playing footy, what I could do.
Get to 180.
I'd be trying to move like I'd love to weigh like if I wasn't playing footy, I'd want to weigh like 95 maybe.
Yeah.
Because I like in the offie this year I got to 87.
Did you?
I felt heavy but I was still running alright. So
yeah. It is funny what a couple of kilos.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, we were. Like, I find like in the off season, like naturally because your training loads are a bit lower, you put on a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
But like if you put on 2 kilos with the type of running we do when we're doing these 15, 16K sessions up hills and all sorts of things, you're like, holy shit, like I need to drop this 2 kilos.
100%. So I usually play at like 84. I think the heaviest I've ever been was 88, and I got to 80. I remember I got to 87.5 one morning, and I was like, getting there, right?
I know.
But I felt thick, like I was getting strong again, and I just like, but my legs, like I lose size in my legs, which I don't really have much of anyway.
Chicken legs.
The skinniest legs, but during the season I get a bit more size on it. A few people come up to me like, oh, your legs are that skinny again, bro. And I'm like, look at my upper body.
That's what's important, especially heading into summer. That's what's important.
I was walking around with massive lats.
Yeah, holding the big suitcases. I had some mail come across my desk as well. I was just chatting to our man Darcy Cameron on the phone. And on the athletic sort of thing, he was talking about when you two first lived together and how he found like what you eat so funny. Like you're very like, what I find so interesting in the footy world and landscape is like everyone approaches the game and prepares so differently. And your diet is like, you're very like, you just like chicken and rice and just like real basic stuff. And Das was saying when you first moved in with him, like him and his partner, Adriana, would cook up really nice meals, like veggies and like curries and things. And they'd like offer it to you and you're like, nah, I'm all good. I might just like order a schnitzel or something. So tell us a little bit about that, because you're such a basic guy. Yeah, well, I'm just like classic Aussie family. I think like grew up on like meat and 3 veg. Yeah.
Never had anything too hectic, just like schnitzels, steak, maybe a bit of bolognese, a bit of lasagna here and there. I never dabbled into anything else. If I didn't like the look of it, I'd never touch it.
So never Asian or Japanese?
No, still never.
Still never eat it?
No.
So what do you do if like the boys are going to have for dinner and get that you just won't eat?
Yeah. Well, I'll eat before I go. Or we just won't go there.
Like you're such an Aussie.
But yeah, 100%. Like palmies, pump them. When I first got drafted, I was bad. Like me and Isaac Chug obviously lived together, both from interstate. We didn't really know what we were doing. It was just it was a fair shit show. But I'm slowly getting there. Like I was eating crap, man. I was just looking like I technically can't get fat. Like I could eat what I want and I can't get fat.
You're genetically like some guys are like that.
Yeah, which is good.
I hate guys like you,
but bad.
Yeah.
I wish I had to work for it in a way. You know what I mean? Like I wish I could be disciplined enough to eat well. In a way,
that bench you get to 160 pretty quick, I reckon.
Oh, it's just like I think it's like I look at people like Q and I'm like, bro, he's so ripped. Like he looks that good, and I'm like, I work probably not as hard as him, but I work pretty hard. Yeah, but I just can't get it because I don't eat well enough.
Yeah, diet is
massive.
It's massive, yeah.
And I go through like stints, like for like, my thing is before a game, I will eat healthy at least 2 days before.
Yeah.
But when I say healthy, I'm just not snacking.
Yeah, and not eating.
I'm a bad
shit food.
snacker. Yeah. I won't be going out to the pub.
Yeah.
Pretty well.
Yeah.
Or vanilla.
Vanilla.
Won't be getting a big meat platter.
Yeah, the big meat platter. Getting a palmy.
they're
Yeah, you
banging.
spend a lot of time out there
Yeah, I do.
with our good man Dennis, who runs Vanilla. Shout out to them out in Oakley. But
Yeah, been
you're-
huge for me.
You're out there. You're out there a good once. I'm going to say almost once a week. You must
Yeah.
live near there, do you? You're around that area.
Oh, when I was in Chatty, like, because I first moved to Chatty, we were there easily once a week. Just no one, like, both fresh out of home, didn't know how to cook. Dennis is like, come in, we're there flat out. But now I'm in St Kilda East, I probably pushed it to maybe once a fortnight.
Yeah. It is a good joint, though.
But he's just loyal. Like, I'm my 21st there.
Yeah.
Such a good bloke.
Yeah,
Like,
he's a good man.
Yeah.
Dennis. He's a good man.
He's a ripper.
One of Geordie's best mates as well to go.
Exactly, yeah, spot on.
Yeah. We were just chatting off air before about, I reckon you had one of the great Mad Monday kits of all time. There were some pretty funny ones. Like, I thought Leggies was quite funny, but minimal effort, whereas I think yours, you put in maximum effort and got maximum results. Like, you were, remember we did the voting for the top 2 or 3? Did you win, or who won?
Yeah.
You won. Well done. Sean O'Malley from the UFC.
Yeah.
Talk us about how that idea came about and what effort you went to get the braids done and the hair colouring, because you were probably coming in off a hangover from the night before. So you had a bit of preparation to do.
Yeah. I don't really know where it came from, mate. I've always just been a big fan of him. I think he's gold. He's got lots of shit tattoos and just plenty going on.
What's his nickname?
Sugar Show.
Sugar Show.
Yeah, he's just a rogue unit. So I was pretty keen to just try and impersonate that. And he's got like fluffy hair and he's always doing something hectic. So I was just like, I've got long hair so I can braid. And I had no idea of who else I could go as. I said, if I can get these braid done, I could get the braids done. I reckon I can pull that off.
Yeah.
So I messaged the lady that does Q's braids.
Oh, she did it for you.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, can you braid my hair for Mad Monday? She's like, yeah, done. I'm in like Essendon or something. And I was just like, yep, done. And then maybe, I think it was the day before Mad Monday, so the Sunday,
Yeah.
I was struggling. Like, we had obviously had a few big days in a row there.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I'm not going to be able to get this done. I'm not going. First of all, I'm not going to be able to drive.
Yeah.
Second of all, I don't want to drive that far.
Yeah.
So I messaged her. I was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this, but I'll pay you extra to come to my house at 8 o'clock Monday morning. And she said yes. And I was like, sort of happy, but sort of like, oh,
It's a huge
that's going to
win.
hurt. Yeah.
How long did it take, the whole braiding process? Because Q
Yes.
is Isaac Quainer for anyone listening, but he does it probably for most games. Is it like 2 or 3 hours?
Yeah, he's a 3-hour job. Yeah.
3 hours.
Because the tighter you do them, the longer they last.
Yeah.
So the tighter you do it, the more it hurts and the longer it takes.
Did it feel weird, like when you had him in, or?
Yeah, it did, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I actually liked it. Like, it's like an uncomfortable pain that feels nice in a way. But she didn't do it too tight because I was like, I don't want to be here forever.
Yeah,
So I was
yeah,
so hungover.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's just get this done. So she did it pretty quickly. Probably took her like 45 minutes.
That's pretty good.
She just didn't do them too tight. I was like, let's be real, I'll spray paint and I'll take them out tonight when I get home.
You had green spray paint in your hair, didn't you, that day?
Yeah, so that's the thing. I did that at 8 in the morning and then I was like severely hungover.
Yeah.
And Josh Carmichael didn't have a kit either who lives with me.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, we're going to go to Bentley. And I was like, this is going to push me.
Yeah.
So I drove from our house to Bentley,
Yeah.
sat out the front of a costume shop for half an hour, waiting for it to open.
Oh, no.
Oh, when we rocked up and it wasn't open, I was spewing, eh? But got in there, got the spray, got some more fake tattoos because I hadn't had my chest done by then.
Yeah.
Drove home.
Or were you trying to match his tattoos?
Yeah, similar. So he's got like a big eagle on his chest, which I wanted, but they didn't have, which I was spewing.
Yeah.
So I just added some shit tattoos on my neck, on my face.
Yeah.
Got that done, and then massive shout out to Jack Jenkins. Farjack gave me his full UFC
I
kit.
was going to say, because you had the shorts and the gloves.
I had everything,
Yeah.
like to the thongs, like
Yeah.
walkout thongs, to the fighting shorts, to the warm up jacket.
Like the official UFC.
Like had the bag, had everything. Like
Yeah.
had the gloves, had like proper UFC gloves. He had
Yeah.
everything for me.
Yeah.
So massive shout out to him. He actually Ubered that to me that morning.
Is that right, mate?
Monday
Everyone's looking
morning.
after you. It's funny
Oh,
what happens.
All the boys got together for that kit. Yeah.
You got your personal Brado who's come to your house. You got Jack Ubering you your kit.
Like, where do you get a UFC kit from? Like,
Well, exactly. You would have had to plan ahead and probably
Yeah.
get that shipped over or something.
yeah. So when he said that, I was stoked.
Yeah.
And then went home, got that all dialed in, and then was a bit nervous, because like I was hungover and I was just like I was late and I was like, this kid's good enough to be late in, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Mate, you can roll in whatever hour you want.
Yeah.
You weren't even the last one there, to be honest. There's a few
exactly.
others,
There's a
stragglers
few,
that came in a bit later.
Jamie Elliott.
Yeah.
Talking about you.
He was the last one there.
But yeah, when I walked in, I was like, I was pretty happy with it, and the boys just got around it. As soon as I walked in, everyone's like, "What's going on here?" I think I had the Versace sunnies on, which he wears as well.
Did.
So,
and you weren't the only UFC fighter there that day, because Penn was obviously his trademark is to do Conor McGregor's entrance, which was hilarious.
So we had a few face-offs, which was pretty fun. He got the Vaso going.
Yeah.
It was a good kit, and the boys loved it. So I was happy.
So good.
So it was,
and in the background that day, obviously, like, they're always such great days when all the boys are together. You're celebrating the year that was. It's just a good environment to get together and have a good time. We had the grand final playing in the background, which what we were chatting about before, you haven't watched any of it. That's probably the only snippets you've seen is just like in the background. You might turn around and watch 20 seconds, but you haven't watched anything.
No, I've been meaning to. I just keep forgetting about it, to be honest with you.
That just sums you up though. Like, I find it so funny. I'm keen to chat about this because, there's like your footy heads, the guys who have to like, I'm probably one of them who has to watch a lot of vision and be so prepared and know everything about the oppo. And then there's guys who are just so relaxed, like probably guys like yourself and Geordie, probably more yourself to an extent, who literally some games you'll go up and you won't even know like anything about your opponent or who he is, and you just go out and play footy.
100%, yeah. I think that's sort of good, but it's also a bit of a downfall in a way.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's my job and I love it, but I'm not fully invested in a way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love it. I'll try my hardest and I'll do everything on game day.
Yeah, I'd say you're invested. I'd say your approach is just you're more of a relaxed.
Yeah, that's probably better.
That's your way of like not overthinking and being in your most calm state.
Yeah. I play best when I'm chill and having fun.
Yeah.
So people will probably think, I always talk about this, people will probably think I'm an angry operator. I feel like if people see me, they probably won't want to come up to me because they feel like I'm like, I don't know if they think I'm aggressive or, but I'm like, I'm purely the opposite. Like,
mate,
I'm not like that at all. Like, it takes a fair bit for me to get angry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've always been like that, Like, every game, like, because I played local till I was 18 and I was late every game. Like, shout out Jared McMillan, my under-18s coach. He was just like, this is ridiculous, mate. Like, I'd be late, like, don't know what I'm doing, sleeping in, or I used to sleep till 10:30, 11 every morning. Like, it was shocking. But it's definitely a laid back approach.
I'd say late. Like, I would say you're never late to anything, but it is funny. Like,
I've improved on that.
Yeah, it'll be like we'll have like our team meeting, or we'll be running out on the ground and playing, and you'll always be sort of just like the last one in the pack, just sort of like dawdling along, just doing your thing. And then when it's game time, though, you're on pretty quickly. But it's just so funny how. Which game was it where? You were asked something about the guy that was playing on you and you didn't actually know his name.
Yeah, the end of year?
Yeah, it was near the end of the year.
Maybe Geelong. I reckon it was
Geelong.
And then they even asked me who number 38 was, and I was like, on our team, and I was like, took me a bit out. And then I was like, oh, it's Howie.
Yeah, they did a quiz. They did a quiz in the whole team meeting. They're like, who's 38 for us? And you're like, whoa. And Howie's like, mate, come on. You're like, oh, yeah, Howie.
I remember in my first 2 years, a few times I got asked people's numbers, and I was just like...
Yeah, numbers is tough, though. Like, not
I know the main ones,
like,
but... There's a few young boys I'll forget or something like that. So.
Can I do a quick quiz with you, just with our team?
Yeah.
Put you on the spot.
I'll be right here.
Who wears number 4?
Buzz.
Yeah, I'm going to do a couple. 18.
Finn Mccreery.
Yeah. 6?
You.
Yeah.
I'm like,
who's a hard one? Let me think. Number 8.
Trent Bianco.
It was. We've given it to one of our new players. This is tough because you haven't seen him play for us yet. But he'll be playing up forward with you.
Schultz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, shooter.
Oh,
you're all right. You're fine.
Yeah.
All you got to do is know your teammates anyway.
Yeah, I've gotten better.
That's good. What were your favourite memories from grand final day? Because obviously you and your brother Jake are real close.
Yeah.
You guys live together. I assume you had a lot of your family come over from SA to support you. What are your favourite memories from... Firstly, the game itself, and then everything that came afterwards.
Probably my first touch.
Is that the one you passed to Bobby?
Yeah.
Mate, that was an elite passage of play.
So the way I look at it...
stepped on a dime, had the vision to see him out the corner of your eye.
Well, that's me in a way, I think. Like, I think I'm good at that. If I'm not rushing, I can pull up and hit it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think probably 9 times out of 10 everyone else would have kicked it because they've got a left foot, but I don't. So I was pulling up pretty quickly to get that off.
Mate, well, you helped probably get his norm, probably.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'll say I contributed. But yeah, as soon as I got that to him, I was pretty happy. And then obviously he kicked it. So that was up there. Like I said, I haven't watched it back because I kicked 3 points, which isn't ideal.
I'll tell you what would have been an epic goal was when you got it at about centre wing, ran through the middle, took a bounce, vacant goal square, the whole 50's empty. I was on ground behind you, maybe 50, 75 metres behind you, had the view of it. It looked like it was going through and it just bounced and just went right at the goalpost. That would have been an unreal goal.
I was flat, because obviously I think I'd missed 2 before that. And then I got on the trot pretty hard. And then I
Who
think
was chasing you? Because he was quick too.
Darcy Wilmot.
He must be fast.
Is it Darcy Wilmot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got suspended last time we played him for dumping him.
Oh, really?
So I just wanted to burn him. I burned him and I was like, I got away and then I put on the boot and no good. It was going in the whole way and I was pretty well about to celebrate and then bloody last second she dipped off.
It's a pretty unique situation where there's no one ahead of the ball.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
that was a random passage of play where it was basically you and one player and just the goals ahead of you and you bombed it from 60, almost bounced it through.
No, and that I don't know. I haven't watched it back obviously, so I don't know if he was on my tail. I'm pretty sure he was.
I can remember
close.
the footage in my head. He's pretty close here. You had to kick it.
Yeah, so I don't think I could have kept going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty flat about that. But obviously the whole game's almost a bit of a blur in a way. Even though I think a few boys have said that. But I remember the siren. I remember there was about 10 seconds to go, and I think we kicked a long down line. Will Hoskin sort of kicked it off the ground and saying, I just tried to flush it.
Were you right next to him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was me and Coleman sort of clashed in the last 2 seconds.
I remember that.
But I was just like, I'm just going hard here. And then that siren went, I think it was me, me, Bobby and Wilbur.
Yeah.
Had a big hug and it was just overwhelming feeling.
Yeah.
I remember I looked to the bench and just everyone erupted. And that feeling and the sound of the crowd was just genuinely off its head, You can't beat that.
Unbelievable. You can't replicate that feeling, can you?
Even the prelim, I remember Will Hoskin again marked it.
Yeah.
I think Bobby kicked it to him and I was sprinting back to goal, just like sort of wanted it in a way.
Yeah.
But I remember we hadn't won yet, siren hadn't gone to the crowd. That was probably the loudest I've ever heard Collingwood, even at the prelim, louder than the granny, I reckon.
When the siren went?
No, when Will Hoskin marked it.
Oh, really?
Because the game was in our hand.
Yeah.
We'd won. And I remember running back to goal fuck. That's hectic, full sprint. I remember just going, fuck.
Yeah. Because that game was obviously against the Giants, who don't have a huge fan base in Melbourne. So effectively 100,000 just Collingwood fans.
Which is more than probably there's not that many at the granny.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Was that at MCC or something?
Yeah, well, I think that grand final day normally has a lot of corporates and Brisbane probably had a lot of fans there that day as well. They would get an allocation, so...
Yeah, so I think there was more at the prelim. I remember that running back thinking, fuck.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
But and then I think just the rest of it, the next few hours was pretty cool. Spending it with all the boys, in our kits still out on the ground. I think when we went around said what we loved about the game and the team and each other.
Yeah, that was epic.
I feel that was a good moment for me to be involved in because I feel like I'm young. You're obviously similar, you've only just been at the club. If that's little stuff like that makes you feel so much more connected to the boys.
For sure. And because some pretty deep things were shared
100%.
by some of the boys.
And sort of my downfall way, I'm no good at that stuff. So once everyone came through with a few deep things, then it was my shot. Do
you remember what you said?
I'm pretty sure I just said something along the lines of it's probably been the best 3-4 years of my life. And to be where we're at today and accomplish what we've accomplished and what I've accomplished in the last 3 years is makes me very proud of me and the boys. It was obviously, I love playing with you boys. I think at the end I just was I think I'll pick this any day over digging holes, that's for sure. I said something like that.
You did too, you ended it well, you wrapped it up well. There were some really emotional ones shared. Sorry.
Good, bro.
That's a bit of the Christmas party. I'll be able to cut that out, won't I, that cough?
Have a drink, bro.
I'll be able to cut this out.
Yeah.
There was some pretty emotional things shared. From memory, a few of the boys. I think Coxie's one was pretty cool, just the whole journey he's been on and how Collingwood's like his family. everyone shared a bit about their personal journey. I think for myself, it was just coming to a club and just feeling so embraced and loved, and how good that felt to be a part of the Collingwood family. And on your personal journey, like for example, you know, coming back from a few big injuries and things, and it was just a really cool moment to sit back and reflect, and to do that for like 20 odd minutes, probably longer, like arm in arm, centre of the G, empty stadium. Like it's pretty.
Lights are like dimmed, like.
How cool! It's like a movie
I
almost.
think there's a photo of it.
Yeah, there is a really cool photo.
I'm sort of in the middle, which I'm pretty happy about.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my favourite photos from
all the boys have their jerseys on still.
Yeah.
Have you got your premiership tat? Because you obviously love your artwork and your tattoo work, and you've got some pretty cool ones. Yeah. And I assume for a guy that loves your tattoos, you're going to have to find a spot.
Yeah, I've had a double in the ink, but no, I haven't got one yet. I've been unsure on where to get it.
Where and when?
Not so much when, more where. Yeah. And then, but true, when is also tough because they hurt, and they're not the best to be getting slapped after at training or something. So, I'm sort of thinking I really like Bobby Hills on his rib.
Yeah, he's just cool. And he's left room down his ribs in case he does get another one. That's what he said.
Exactly. And he, I think he copied a fan, actually. Jamie Elliott was telling me. So
yeah, I
think Bobby and a fan have the same. But something along the lines of that, or maybe a bit of script on my ankle, or I shouldn't be as picky because I've got some shockers. But yeah,
which is your favourite and least favourite?
This arm is probably my favourite.
Right arm?
Yeah. Fresh one from Bali, this offie.
Nice.
And then probably my looks-wise, probably that and my chest, but my chest is not finished.
Yeah.
But I think when that's done, that'll be dope.
Yeah.
Then I've probably got to say, I had no meaningful tattoos for a long time.
Yeah.
And everyone used to ask if I got meaningful ones, and I used to just have to say no.
Yeah.
And then I thought, fuck it, I should probably get some.
Yeah.
So I just got parents' birth dates, and I got 333 on my hand. Mm-hmm. People think it's an angel number, which is definitely not.
Yeah.
Not quite into that stuff. But it's for my brother.
Yeah.
Or me and my brother, because we're 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days apart.
Is that right? Yeah. You guys are super tight.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
And I got my dog's birthday on my finger.
I'm a dog lover too, so I'd 100% get that.
Yeah, so, and then I've just got some random shit. But.
Yeah. Some of the boys' tattoos that have popped up have been pretty cool. You were talking about Guinea, Jack Ginnivan's tattoo, because I saw Guinea in Byron when I was there in the off-season, but he hadn't had his tattoo done, but he's got like a cat or something.
Yeah, I'm unsure of the meaning behind it.
That sums him up. He's always done things a little bit differently, but he's got a...
Yeah, so I've seen him...
it's not really a magpie, it's a cat.
Yeah, classic man Guinea. I seen him on a night out, and yeah, he said he's got this black cat on his hip or something, which I don't fully understand the meaning of, but...
It's his version of a premiership
tattoo.
Yeah,
you do you, Guinea.
Yeah.
Not going to question it, but no, he's got a black cat up on his hip, I think, so...
And something you're doing outside of footy, which is pretty cool as well, and something you've been working really hard on, is your own clothing label. And you mentioned how uni's not for you, but you've found something with Caleb Poulter, who was a former Pie, and now he's at the Doggies. Your own clothing brand called Rager. So tell us a little bit about how you started that and where it is now, because I've heard about how successful the first drop was. You sold out within a matter of minutes. Mm-hmm. You're doing another sale Boxing Day, and as we head towards the footy season, you'll be doing more and more. But how did the idea come about? You had some cool people help you as well? Yeah, so
probably all started about maybe 2 years ago. Me and Caleb were obviously playing together at that point, and we sort of had the idea starting a clothing brand. We obviously weren't too interested in uni, and the club was sort of pushing us to do something, and we both like our clothing. One of my mates, Tim Hanley, who owns the owner of Front Runner, was obviously killing it in that part of the game. So watching the way he goes about it and just where he started and where he's at now, pretty cool. And to be able to build something like that off field would just be amazing. So it all started a couple of years ago. Shout out to my ex-partner Kaya for the name. We were struggling a long time for the name, and she came up with it, and we just went with it. So we're stoked. But yeah,
it's not often an ex-girlfriend comes up and helps with the name for your clothing label, but that's a pretty unique situation, and it's worked out well because you're happy with the name.
Yeah, we were actually together at the time. But yeah, no, we're all good. So shout out to her for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously done right since. There was a period of time there where we had absolutely no idea what we were doing. I was on the phone to Tim every couple of days, asking him questions, just annoying him. But he was massive, man. Like, helped us with everything, like anything I needed. Just always there for advice. I think if he was in Melbourne, he probably would have done it for us. Like, he was that good. So yeah, just learning off him was massive, and then got to a point where we'd pretty well ordered all these garments, had the idea and a bit of an idea of the design in our head. I'm terrible with technology.
Yeah.
Caleb's a bit better, so we're mucking around on the laptop, trying to figure out designs. We sort of came up with what we wanted, and then yeah, it just happened real quick. We had the garments 1 minute, next minute they were getting printed, next minute they were getting tagged. We had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
We're just purely winging it.
So there's way more to it than you originally thought. And you obviously used Colour Plane, who
Yeah.
we're doing the same with our Ball Magnets merch through Tom Wilson, a former Pie as well. And then I thought what you said earlier was cool, how you've got the laptop up and watching the live orders come through, just order after order after order, and you're like, holy shit, we're onto something here.
Yeah, so I got to the point where we were ready to drop. And it all happened so quick, man. We're up to luckily we were in the off season. Me and Pultz had just gotten back from Bali. We were up to 2 a.m. packing orders before, just packing single orders before we actually dropped, just because we knew how busy it would be if we did sell out. So we're up doing that all night for a couple of nights in a row. And then it came to drop night and went around to Caleb's. We're sitting there with a laptop, and I had lots of confidence at the start that it'd do well. We had a few people sign up for pre-order. And then, I don't know what happened, the confidence just dip-dived, I was like, fuck, I don't know how we'll go here. Caleb was sort of similar, and then I think the website opened at 6:45 to people for the pre-sale, and it just went bang. We were sitting there watching the orders come through, which was pretty cool. And then I think it was maybe, I don't know the exact time, but no more than 10 minutes, so maybe 6:55, and it wasn't going to open till 7 to the general public. We had to open it early because there was for example, I think there was 4 black t-shirts left, a couple blue hoodies, so it just flew off the shelf. So quickly opened it to public, and then it was sold out within probably. It started to slow down within maybe it was probably pretty well sold out within 15 minutes.
It's pretty epic for you, especially for your first crack at it.
Yeah, so we obviously had a few stragglers. There's a few things that hadn't sold out straight away, but majority, probably 90% were sold out in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, just where do we go from here? We were just over the moon, got them orders out. There's obviously a fair few problems, with everything. You got to get rid of them little things with the shipping sizes. There's always...
There would have been so many things that go into running a clothing label that you just wouldn't have thought of. Similar to running Ball Magnets, there's always and running a business, there's always things that pop up that you go into it having no idea what you're in for.
100%.
Yeah.
I was calling Tim this is just happening. He's like, it's fine, bro. Live and you learn, And I'm stressing, man. He's like, nah, it's all good.
If you're stressing, then you must be stressed because you're one of the most relaxed blokes you've met.
And he's like, people understand, bro. Your first drop, you're just you'll nut them little things out and you'll get better and better each drop. So
yeah. How many cars would you own currently?
3. You
own 3.
So I've got an FG XR6 Turbo.
Yeah.
Which you probably don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
FG Pursuit.
Yeah.
Pursuit Ute. And then I've got the BT50. So
I'm just picturing if you were an American athlete and on millions, how many cars you'd have. You'd have a garage of 30 cars.
I'd have plenty, I think about it too often.
You wouldn't even worry about a bed to sleep in. You'd have a car instead.
Yeah, I'd have a dope car, yeah. I'd have plenty of dope cars, yeah.
That's awesome. What about motorbikes? Motorbikes as well, just cars?
No, motorbikes too, yeah. So I used to ride a lot more before I got drafted.
Yeah.
Sort of slowed down a bit. Been for a ride with Geordie and that, which is good fun.
Yeah.
So it's good to ride when I can, but I pull up that sore these days when I ride, groins, everything.
Really? Does it take that sort of bit of a toll on your body?
If you went for a ride for the first time, and you had a fair crack, worse than after. I'd pull up worse than we did after our last training.
Is that right?
Forearms, groins, hips.
Just because you're probably not used to it, I guess.
Yeah, even at the moment, last time I rode, I was cramping in my hips. Yeah. Just because you're sitting awkwardly, you don't sit like that.
Yeah.
I've got 2 motorbikes at the moment as well. So.
Wow. There is a bit of a motorbike crew. There's you, Geordie, Jamie Elliott's got one. Yeah. Bolts, assistant coach, has got one.
Yeah, so I think Geordie and Bolts go for a few rides together.
Yeah.
Geordie will be looking forward to that in the office.
Yeah.
So.
100%.
Yeah, so Geordie's got a few dirt bikes and a couple of Harleys, which Geordie's always got the toys I want. So
I've been at Geordie's house and he's got a pretty sick one in the garage. Yeah. And he's similar to you, loves his cars. I feel like he's rotating a car every month, but he's getting Mercs and Porsches and all sorts of things.
Yeah, his game's a bit better than mine because he's got a bit more.
It's a different genre though. Yours is more your four-wheel driving type, and his is more your top echelon sort of.
Yeah,
that's how he rolls.
I'll get to one day. I'm hoping, but Geordie he does it right in that department. That's 100%. For sure. And then, the jet ski's just a bit of the warm weather's coming around and got 3 weeks off. So I thought I might have a dabble, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, you mentioned your dad there and and how he sort of said it's good to treat yourself when to give yourself the reward for getting drafted and things. But your mum's also had a bit of publicity this year, and it's been touched on a fair bit. But I want to hear the detail of how it came about, because to me that pre-game meeting was still one of the best of all time, and like got the boys up. For her to have the confidence to do it, you obviously did you have any idea that was coming, or was it pre-planned? You had no idea.
No. So I think the day before they were at the club, and I think Nadine or Tash might have mentioned it to Mum.
Yeah, so it was like it was Mother's Day round, and obviously the club's very good at getting families involved, and so the mums came in, and so they must have approached her the day before the game at the captain's run.
And I just sort of think, why Mum? But maybe, I don't know. But so they approached her, and Jake, my brother, actually said that Mum told him, but they said don't tell Beau.
Yeah.
So she's walked in. She wasn't sure if she was going to do it, and then they were like, "Yeah, you're on." So she said she was sort of had it in the back of her mind, like, what would I say?
Yeah. Did she have a rough script? You've obviously spoken about it since.
No, not really. I
think she nailed it.
I think she just thought it was like she's pretty good at that stuff. Like she's a pretty confident woman.
Yeah.
Better than me at public speaking, that's for sure. But
you hate speaking up in a meeting.
Oh,
it's almost like the coaches purposely like throwing to you to make you feel a bit uncomfortable.
Oh, even Fly hit me with it at Morwell the other day, and my reply was alright, and I was pretty happy with it. And I think he was like, nice.
You always know your stuff. It's just like you're always just one of the more reserved guys in the meetings.
Yeah, I feel like I'm sitting there in my head answering the questions in my head.
Yeah.
But if you ask me, I'll be like...
It's more when like you got 50 heads that all turn and look to you. Just rattles you a bit.
Or be like, ask me the question, we'll be like, we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
And I'll be right. It's just that when I get put on the spot, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So I think, I had no idea, and then we're sitting in there, and Fly sort of started his speech, and I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then sort of I looked to my left, and I seen Mum walk in. I go, what's the crack here?
Yeah.
I think in the video I look real embarrassed, like I'm real red and head in my hands, but I was more just like nervous, bro. Like you could fuck that up pretty easily.
Yeah.
I've been around the boys for 4 years now, and I still couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So for Mum to walk in and look at people like yourself, or like Scott Pendlebury, Geordie, like Crispy, like or Steele, Howie, all them boys, and come up with a speech to try and pump these blokes up.
Yeah.
Bloody good effort, eh?
It couldn't have gone any better. Like, to be honest, no matter what she said or did, it would have been great.
Yeah.
For however it went.
Oh,
we would have found a way.
Even if she fucked it up, the boys
exactly.
would have got
the boys
up.
still would have loved that, but it was more the fact that she absolutely nailed it.
Oh, and was into it, eh?
And was into it, and I was like, all right, Fly, we actually don't need you to talk because we're ready to go.
No, I was thinking she had to have had a few champagnes.
Have to have, yeah.
Because loosen up
Bit of liquid courage.
Yeah, spot on, and she can drink it right, Mum. So, when she delivered that, I was more just like, fuck, she's done well, eh?
Yeah.
But I had a good chat to her, and she said, I started off and I was real nervous, and when I watch it back, I can tell she was nervous.
Yeah.
As you should be.
Yeah.
But she sort of looked at Pendles, and Pendles started laughing.
Yeah.
And she said, once I seen Pendles laugh, I was like, I'm fucking on.
Yeah.
And just kept going. And then the boys started
By the end,
getting
you
up.
couldn't get her off the stage.
No, and then water bottles started flying, water started going.
Yeah.
And the next minute, everyone was just up, and it erupted. And she did very well. And I think Mum's more famous than me now, eh?
I would say the same. She's had a bit of radio time, a bit of TV time. So.
Oh, ridiculous. She was getting, she was driving up to Darwin, phone calls, having to pull over for video calls, everything.
You'll be known as her son.
Oh, dropped her off at the airport, getting noticed.
So funny.
Went to VFL game, they were asking her for photos, not me. I was like, all good.
Oh, mate, that's so good. Well, we better end on that note because I think that's probably one of the highlights of the season. Obviously, everything that happened, everything we achieved was so amazing, but those little things on the journey is what makes the year so memorable, and that'll be one thing I'm sure your family
100%.
and all the boys will remember forever. So pass on a thanks to your mum, and mate, thanks for jumping on the Ball Magnets pod, and
We'll do.
let's get after it again.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Appreciate it.
Easy done.